All right, welcome back to MMA Al Dente. I thought we saw a great fight last night for the main event. Juliana Pena really brought it. She wasn't able to impose herself, her wrestling game or her striking game. Really, she wasn't able to impose herself at all on Amanda Nunes. Her best moments, she had some nice moments on the feet, but her best moments came on the ground. And aside from one really tight armbar in the third or fourth round, and it was really tight, there wasn't much else that was really a threat to Amanda Nunes. But it still managed to be a very good fight. Amanda Nunes had a great performance. She came out, fought Southpaw, which threw Juliana Pena off, and I wasn't sure how that was going to work for her. In the first round, early on, she had to switch stances to throw a kick, and even though I'm sure it was deliberate, she wanted to attack from that side or whatever. But she looked a little uncomfortable in round one. But I think it was round two when she knocked her down four times in the round, all with check right hooks. She was fighting on the back foot, and Amanda Nunes did what she had to do to stay in range, at long range, and win the fight from the outside. Even when Juliana Pena was coming forward, Amanda Nunes backed up, and she was great backing up, and that right hook was there for her, the lead right hook, the Sam Alvey punch that was there for her all night. And it was a great performance from Amanda Nunes. I did think, you know, she was still in danger of being fatigued just through being hurt. I thought initially, before both fights, I thought Juliana Pena's best course was to fatigue Amanda Nunes with wrestling. But uh, Amanda Nunes is like GSP, where GSP, he wasn't. He was more of a jiu-jitsu guy and a kickboxer, or a karate guy coming into MMA, and his best asset was his wrestling. I'm not saying it's Amanda Nunes' best asset, but it's given her some big championship wins here over Juliana Pena, uh, Jermaine Durandamy, and Valentina in the rematch. Even though she did very well on top in the first fight as well, but as a champion, it's given her some of her best moments, and all of these wrestling-based performances were performances that took 5 rounds. And in particular, later in the fight is when the wrestling won her the fight. That's how it went down in really all three of those fights: Jermaine Durandamy, Shevchenko, and now Pena, the rematch. So, really cool performance from Amanda Nunes. Some nice tricks and some great tactics, incredible tactics, and she made that a shutout on paper. But if you saw the fight, it wasn't a complete shutout. Juliana Pena, that's the thing where, it's like somebody like Derek Lewis always has the equalizer, which is the big right hand. He's never out of it. You're always on the edge of your seat. Even in round 4 and 5, I was still on the edge of my seat because I thought Juliana Pena is one moment away from taking over the fight. If she hurts, Amanda Nunes, in an exchange, she, with her style, with that leading to success, especially grappling and whatever, she's going to suck the life out of Amanda Nunes. And it didn't pan out like that. It was Nunes' night, and, Juliana Pena, look, I'm not making it out like she's perfect. She looked very limited on the feet. She got caught with that same right hook a dozen times, and it put her down like 14 times. It was fucking insane. But still, her tenacity and her pressure was still a factor in this fight. It didn't play much of a factor in the decision, in the outcome, but it was still something. It was an asset of hers. And if nothing else, which was the case here, she had nothing else, it's something. It was something valuable that she could have leaned on to find a path to victory. And she didn't. It was Amanda Nunes being sharp, and if she felt herself slipping on the feet, because there were a few exchanges where Juliana caught her with some nice punches, Amanda Nunes leaned on her wrestling, and that was a really cool performance from both ladies. But really, it was the Amanda Nunes show. Now, As for where they go from here, I know Valentina just had a really tough fight against Taila Santos, but I want to see the Valentina versus Nunes fight. I think that's the way to go. I am more inclined to believe Amanda Nunes wins that fight via decision with her wrestling. I think, kind of like she did in the first fight, but it's not like it was a wrestling based game plan. I think it will be a wrestling based game plan in this fight. Having seen the Taila Santos fight, having fought Juliana Pena, she's and fought Valentina twice herself and found success being the bully, winning with physicality, which is something Amanda Nunes has. It's like GSP. GSP was a big, strong fucking athlete, fast athlete, and he put it all together and he gave himself incredible wrestling, a takedown advantage, if nothing else. His double leg was out of this world, running through Josh Koscheck. So he gave himself that asset, and Amanda Nunes has that. I feel like she's technical enough and she's big and strong enough, especially fighting someone who's, 10 pounds lighter, to make it her thing. And going forward, I think we could expect that a lot from Amanda Nunes, to be honest. I think if she finds herself in any trouble, doubting her own cardio, let alone her chin or anything else, she's going to be looking to take the fight to the floor. So, whatever. Nice wrinkles from both fighters. But yeah, moving forward, I think the fight to make is Nunes versus Shevchenko 3. I think you got to strike while the iron's hot. It is a super fight. It's capable of headlining a pay-per-view, which not all these female fights are. And, the UFC can lean on it, especially with some champions out and whatever. That's how the UFC thinks. It's all logistical, where they have to have, certain pay-per-view cards which need title fights, two, if not one huge one, or a superstar, like Nate Diaz versus Chimaev or whatever. But it's a fight to make. I think this fight could headline a pay-per-view. I'm not even saying it'll sell well, but I know it's a reliable headliner. It's a super fight. So I hope to see that. And as for Juliana Pena, I don't know. Maybe Holly Holm or something. Or a rematch with Jermaine Durandamy. Whatever. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed that fight. I thought it was a pretty good main event as far as one-sided ass-kickings, and I've liked a bunch of them throughout the years. Going back to Sean Shark versus Kenny Florian. I remember liking that one a lot. And GSP, Thiago Alves, etc. This one was a great one. All right, like, share, subscribe, all that horseshit. See you soon.